So this video might get a little ranty. We'll have to see how I'm feeling, but I see a lot of Xbox fans are down and out and kind of depressed and things like that as well. And I can say I can honestly agree with you, and I'm going to go over all my reasons for it in just a second. I just want to say that, listen, I hear you. I'm not like down on Xbox. I am very much an Xbox fan. I have to be, right? Like I said, everybody knows I've got all these games and stuff. I like the platform. The real problem is, unfortunately, it looks like we're going to be kind of getting screwed in terms of exclusives and things like that. And it looks like we were kind of misled a little bit with some stuff, and I'm going to get into that. So, as you guys know, Xbox announced multi-platform releases for Pentiment, Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, and Grounded, the 4 first-party games that last week Microsoft said would indeed go other places. They didn't name the games or say the platforms, but indeed these are the 4 that did leak out, and turns out was 100% correct. Following weeks of speculation, Microsoft delivered an Xbox business update last Thursday, which did in fact address claims that the company has been exploring the possibility of bringing its games to PlayStation and Switch. It confirmed plans to release 4 unnamed Xbox exclusives on other console platforms, which were believed to be Pentiment, Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, and Grounded, and voila, here we go. Limited Run Games also announced plans to release physical editions of Pentiment for PS5, Xbox, and Switch, physical versions of Hi-Fi Rush for Xbox Series X and PS5. During last week's business update, Xbox boss Phil Spencer said that Starfield and Indiana Jones, titles previously reported to be under consideration for PS5, would not be going multi-platform at this time. But he also told The Verge directly after, and I quote, "I don't think we should as an industry ever rule out a game going to any other platform. To ensure long-term success for both Xbox and the industry as a whole, we must continue to evolve. Today we announced that we will continue to expand communities we reach, and we currently are in the process of bringing 4 games to other platforms. These are titles which have been available to Xbox players for at least a year, including hidden gems that deserve to be experienced more widely, and live service games whose communities will benefit from welcoming even more players. We will share more details on these titles soon. By bringing these games to more players, we not only expand the reach and impact of these titles, but this will allow us to invest in either future versions of these games or elsewhere in our first-party portfolio. There is no fundamental change to our approach on exclusivity." So there you have it. So here's the thing, right? We knew that this was coming, right? We knew that these are the 4 games. I did videos on that last week, and that was the rumored the 4 games. Here's the problem that I have with all of this, right? These games are coming out soon. Pentiment released today. Most of these games are releasing within the next, couple weeks on all these platforms. Microsoft was originally going to do this update on the business side of things next week. And these games were originally supposed to be announced last week, but they started leaking out and people started freaking out, and so Microsoft went and did the thing. Had people not freaked out, Microsoft would have just allowed these games to have been announced for other platforms, just cold like that, right? We would have been blindsided by it, and for months now, we've all been worried about Microsoft and Xbox going third party. There's been rumors, we've asked for clarification, and they gave us none. We've gotten no clarification. We would have literally just been blindsided with these announcements of these games going to other platforms, right? And I know how some people feel about it. You're going to go, well, what's it matter? It's a couple games as a service games and a couple smaller games. It doesn't really matter. Think about it this way. We're 3.5 years into this console generation, and what console exclusives does Xbox even have at this point? I can tell you it is Starfield, it is Halo Infinite, and it is Forza and Forza. Those are the only games that we have that are console exclusive at this point. Grounded, gone. Pentiment, gone. Assuming that Starfield could legit be gone at some point, right? It doesn't look good. Psychonauts 2 was multi-platform. Ghostwire Tokyo multi-platform. Deathloop multi-platform. It's literally, this is what it's come down to, legit, Even stuff like the remasters, which I never count remasters or remakes in this stuff, but like the Doom 2 remakes or whatever, those were multi-platform, as well as the GoldenEye remaster was multi-platform. So we literally have, in 3.5 years, 2 Forzas, Starfield, and Halo as the only console exclusives that we have. And people wonder why Xbox is failing, right? So Again, this is the thing that really pisses me off, right? They would have just cold announced these games and then made us stew and wait for another 7 to 10 days before doing their business update had we not pushed them into doing the update. Even looking out past that, Xbox gamers, guess what? We got 0 first-party games from Microsoft quarter 1. The Switch and PlayStation get Xbox first-party games in quarter 1 this year. How is that even fair? How is that possible? Not only that, but our entire catalog of Xbox games that we got in 2022 was Pentiment and Grounded. Both those games are going to PlayStation, or other platforms. It's like, it's so ridiculous to think about it, that in 2024, PlayStation gets more first-party Xbox games than we got as a whole as Xbox owners in 2022. How is that possible? How is that fair? I don't understand. Like, how can we be treated any less like than like third-class citizens at this particular point, right? It's pretty ridiculous to really kind of go out there and see the way that we're treated as Xbox fans, right? And they think that we shouldn't get pissed off, or I know some people aren't, because they're like, yeah, I haven't bought a game in 5 years. Game Pass, huzzah, right? And I think Game Pass is cool, great, but that's not a flex to own an Xbox, right? Paying $550 for this box. I didn't buy an Xbox Series X because of Game Pass. I bought an Xbox Series X when they announced that they bought ZeniMax Studios, right? And, we're going to be putting these games exclusively where Game Pass is. Okay, great. Sounds great. Your vision aligns with mine. That's fine. I'll buy these games if they really good. If not, whatever, I can play them through Game Pass. But, again, we get caught in this situation where it doesn't really matter, because can anybody really trust that these games aren't going elsewhere ever, right? Like, if games take, what I'm trying to say, and I'm kind of getting flustered, is these games had to be in port development for months, right? It takes months and months to port games, probably 6 months, if not longer. So all the rumors that we got were probably true, right? Starfield is probably being ported. Maybe they don't release it because of backlash, and Phil said, no, we're not going to do it. But, that stuff was probably in the cards, right? What do we have, right? We have nothing in almost 4 years. And they wonder why Xbox is selling poorly. They wonder why nobody's buying Xbox, even when it was $350. People don't believe in the brand. People don't trust the brand. I can't say I blame them. Right? I love Xbox. I've got, so many Xbox games and consoles and stuff, but can you really believe or trust in this brand anymore at this point? Right? They just were going to shadow drop these games and surprise, screw all of our fans, right? Like, I'm sure some of you maybe didn't go, oh, well, I bought an Xbox strictly for this game or this game, but you probably bought it for at least some exclusives, and we aren't getting those, right? So, and a year when we were all kind of making fun of PlayStation because their first party isn't releasing anything, they announced, like, that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is like a Game of the Year candidate. It's like a 93 Metacritic right now. So, in quarter 1, PlayStation fans get a Game of the Year contender in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. They got a surprise hit in Helldivers 2. They get Stellar Blade, which looks phenomenal. And they get Xbox games. How is that making Xbox fans feel anything? How is that making us feel anything but last place and, kind of pissed off? It just boggles my mind how they can completely fumble a fan base that cared so much. I'm at a loss for words. I don't know. I'm gonna go. Thanks for watching. Crap Gamer out.